Explore the flavors of the Caribbean with these fresh, flavorsome and simple saltfish fritters. Stay tuned here at Meals Make Memories. Hello and thank you for joining me for today's recipe, saltfish fritters. Now, growing up, these were one of my favorite snacks. My nan always used to give it to us after school on a Friday, and they were a great way to add extra bits of veg to a fantastic, easy snack. So follow along with the video, and all of the ingredients can be found in the description box below. So the first thing you're going to want to do is chop up your spring onions and your Scotch bonnet peppers. Now, these have an amazing fruity flavor, but if you don't want too much heat, please make sure that you remove the seeds. Next up are the tomatoes and peppers. All we need to do is chop those into small pieces, small chunks, and these alongside the sweet corn will add a bit of crunch and a bit of sweetness to balance out the savory flavor of the saltfish. Now, tomatoes and peppers release a lot of water when they're cooked, so the last thing we want is a really soggy saltfish fritter. So I would recommend using half a pepper and only a handful of tomatoes. Now, there's so much freshness, so much color in this bowl that you could even just have this as a salad. All you need to do is just put your cooked flaked saltfish on top of this, and this would make a perfect summer dish. Now that all of the vegetables are in the bowl, we can start to add some seasoning. Now, I like to add some chopped fresh coriander from my herb garden, and I'm also going to add 2 cubes of frozen green seasoning. If you're not sure what this is, it's a blend of fresh herbs and vegetables that are a staple seasoning found throughout the Caribbean. If you're in the UK, you can buy this in the supermarket, but if you'd rather give it a go yourself, please click the video on the right hand corner of the screen to learn how to make your own green seasoning. Now we're going to prepare our fish. So as you can see, the fish is highly salted, but not to worry, the majority of this will easily be removed by washing, boiling the fish and then throwing off the briny water. When you see that the surface layer of salt has been removed from the fish, you can proceed to go ahead and boil it. Now, I like to do this process twice, so boil the fish, throw off the water and then repeat. This allows me to get quite a good amount of salt gone, but not enough to remove the flavor that we would need for the saltfish fritters. Once you think it's done, go ahead and do a taste test. If you still think that your saltfish is too salty, you can just repeat that process one more time. But you should find that when you press your fork against it, it flakes up quite nicely into loose, light pieces, just like this. Now that your vegetables have been prepared and your fish has been cooked and flaked, you can just put those two together, and this is what will form the beginning of our batter. Now, prior to this, we had put in the green seasoning and some herbs, but we are going to add a bit more flavoring to this, just to give it that Caribbean kick that we're all expecting. So the first thing that we need to add is a bit of ginger, 1 teaspoon to be exact, and we are also going to add some garlic paste. Now, you can use freshly crushed garlic if you wish, but for convenience sake, I like to use garlic puree. And the secret ingredient that I use in so many of my meals, 1 teaspoon of hot sauce. Mix that all together. And to make sure that our saltfish fritters are not too dense, we are going to add some baking powder. Now, you'll see here that as soon as those two are combined, you will start to see little air bubbles forming and popping inside the mixture. This is a good sign. This means that it's aerating. Then we just need to add a little bit of flour at a time into the mixture to create our batter. Now, if you're thinking that you've been a bit heavy-handed with the flour and your batter is starting to look a bit like dough, please do not panic. I've gone through this process many times. All you need to do is just add a little bit of water and that can change the consistency back to a batter. keep slowly adding flour until your batter looks something like this. Now, a really good friend of mine, Kim, she gave me a really good way to check that you have the right consistency. She reminded me that when you put your spoon through the mixture, it should start to squelch. So this is almost like a hearing check, an audible check. Put your spoon through your batter and see if it makes a squelching noise. If it does, you have the right consistency and you can begin to fry your fritters. Now you can choose to shallow fry the fritters in a range of different oils. I would recommend going for one that doesn't have a really strong flavour, so extra virgin olive oil probably isn't your best bet, but something like vegetable oil, sunflower oil, any of those will do. Now, because the batter is quite sticky, you may find it sticks to the bottom of the pan. This is usually the case if you've got an older kind of pan, so if it's doing this, simply take a fork and just gently pry it off the bottom. Once you've done this, allow it to cook a little bit longer on that side before turning it over for 2 to 3 minutes cooking on the other side. And once your fritters are this beautiful golden brown colour, they are done. Popping them on some kitchen towel will help to absorb the excess oil, and then you can serve them hot with your favourite dipping sauce. I really like to use Peronaise, or you can just serve them cold. Either way, they taste great and the choice is completely yours. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and if you did, please hit the thumbs up button or feel free to like, share and even subscribe. Join me for the next one. Thanks for watching.